Hello guys, Dan here. In today's video I'm going to be showing you some benchmarks on the most graphically demanding games for PC that are kind of available to buy today. Now what I'm going to be doing guys is testing just the frame rates of games. It's going to be on my system, so it's a Core i5, a 3330 running at 3.2 GHz. I have a GTX 770 running at 1.25 GHz, and then I have 8 gigs of RAM running at 1333 MHz. And yeah, it's kind of about it. 1080p display, and yeah, I am going to be testing all of the games using Crysis, since that's a nice easy way of testing the actual FPS in games. And yeah, we can get a nice rounded off kind of average result. So I'm just going to be playing the games for a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and seeing what the frame rates are like. Now, all I'll be doing is testing different scenes in games. So I know some games always start off where it's like raining and explosions are going off and stuff like that. So what we'll be doing is just testing two kind of sections to a game. Now at number 10 we have Crysis. So yes, not Crysis 2 or Crysis 3. This is the first ever Crysis, and yeah, it's incredibly demanding indeed. And what Crytek wanted to do is actually make a future-proof game, and they've exactly done that. 6 years later, the game is still demanding to run on modern systems, and I am able to get 58.2 frames per second. And yeah, even with my overclocked 770, this game is still incredibly demanding. Then moving on guys, Hitman Absolution. This comes in at number 9. This uses a Glacier 2 engine, and yeah, I managed to get 53.8 frames per second. And yeah, I am going to say this game is quite CPU heavy, so I suppose my i5 might have been the bottleneck there, but we do get relatively low frame rates with this game. And yeah, a better processor, and in my case an i7 would have definitely kind of bumped up them frame rates. Then moving on to number 8, we have GTA 4. So this is using the Rage engine, which stands for Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, and yeah, 53.21 frames per second is what I'm able to get. This is while driving around Liberty City, blowing up a few cars, etc. So yeah, 53.21 frames per second. Not a lot at all, to be honest, comparing it came out in 2008. There we are. Now moving on guys to number 7, we have Far Cry 3, one of my personal favourite games, just because I just like blowing stuff up because it just looks amazing. When barrels explode and everything, I'd say the game looks so good. As well as the story being incredibly interesting with this game, I really do enjoy it indeed. And yeah, I was able to get a rock solid 41 FPS. There wasn't much variance playing this game, to be honest. And yeah, frames kind of stayed around the 40 range, I'll say that. But yeah, 41 FPS for Far Cry 3. That's using the Junior Engine 2. Moving on to number 6, The Witcher 2, Assassin of the Kings. So this guy is using the Red engine with the Havoc physics, and on this game I'm able to get 32.62 FPS, which is incredibly low. So yeah, you totally max out this game, and yeah, your system's known as f***ing crippled to I'll keep it there. Now moving on to Crysis 3. So yeah, Crysis 3 is more demanding than the first Crysis, as you can probably have guessed. But yeah, Crysis 3, I'm able to get 28 FPS, and yeah, maxed out. To be honest, my actual frames did drop down to 12 FPS at one point, and yeah, it was totally unplayable. But I kept going on, kind of running through some fields and killing some weird creatures. But there we are, 28.08 FPS, not a lot at all. Then moving on to number 4, we have Arma 3, and I'm just going to say I did disable the motion blur on here, just because that completely destroyed frame rates, but I was able to get an average of 25.77 FPS, and yeah, this is on absolute maximum. All games are on maximum settings, and that's why, yeah, some games I'm going to be mentioning soon, yeah, you're going to see that they have incredibly low frame rates. It's kind of ridiculous for a high-end system that I have personally. Now moving on to Tomb Raider. This is the Tomb Raider 2013. This guys uses the modified Crystal engine, and I'm able to get 24.8 frames per second. Because again, this is at 1080p, but yeah, 24.8 frames per second. That is not a lot at all, and I'd say I was having a pretty shit gaming experience with Tomb Raider, but to be honest, it does look good. It does look good indeed. But from one thing I noticed, moving the settings down from the highest just to like high, they still look good. they still looked good. Now moving on to number 2, we have Metro Last Light. Now, as much as Metro 2033 were demanding, Metro Last Light is a little bit more demanding than what that game was. And yeah, we're able to obtain 22.3 FPS. Incredibly unplayable. And I will say stuff like the physics and just the incredible amount of tessellation going on. I must say that, yeah, the frame rate at 22.3, yeah, it was pretty bad, to be honest. And I personally played this game on medium settings. Yeah, it's quite sad actually that I got to play this game on medium settings, even though I have an £800 gaming system, and that's excluding stuff like a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. But if you want a game to run incredibly well on max settings these days, you've got to spend another grand or something like that, haven't you? But yeah, Metro Last Light is incredibly demanding. The game is not optimized at all, and it runs pretty shit, to be honest. But yeah, if you want nice smooth frame rates, just turn these settings down. This was using the 4.8 engine, and I must say the game does look good, but man, I tell you. Now moving on to the most demanding game of 2014 up to now, we have Battlefield 4. Now you're probably thinking, Battlefield 4? What the hell are you on about? Now I must say, a lot of people don't know about this, but if you go into the settings, you can find a scaling option. And I put the scaling on 200%, which is essentially maxing out the settings, and yeah, I got 17 FPS on my GTX 770, quite shocking indeed. Now I usually play this game with 100% scaling, which is just normal scaling, so the game is rendering at 1080p and output into my 1080p monitor, and yeah, I'm able to get 72 FPS, but with the scaling on 200%, everything maxed out, I'm able to get 17.27 frames per second, which yes, is pretty bad. But I must say, when you're actually using the scaling, the game does look blooming good at all. And I also mentioned that the frame rate did drop as low as 12 FPS. And that's one at a tank blow up, I believe, yeah. But that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching my video on the most graphically demanding games, and on to absolutely... I tell you, they really do destroy even high-end systems, but yeah, games like Battlefield 4 on 200% scaling, games like Metro Last Light, Tomb Raider, Arma 3 and Crysis 3, they like to kill systems and deliver you an unplayable experience when maxing out. Then graphic settings all the way to Ultra, or Max shall I say. There's a difference these days between Ultra and Max. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, please feel free to like, comment and also subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.